The camera pans across a sleek silver Mazda RX-9, its curves catching the dawn light, as a low hum builds in the background. Not the roar of a traditional engine, but something smoother, stranger, almost alive. Imagine a world where the electric vehicle, the darling of the auto industry, faces a challenger from an unexpected corner. A ghost from the past, reborn with a pulse that could shake the very foundations of modern car making. Mazda, a company known for defying convention, has staked its future on a bold claim: a new rotary engine, a design many thought dead and buried, poised to disrupt the electric vehicle juggernaut. The CEO's words echo like a battle cry. This engine will destroy the EV industry. But how could a relic from decades past threaten the sleek, silent efficiency of Tesla's empire? What makes Mazda so audacious, so certain, that they can rewrite the rules of a game already dominated by giants? This is no mere corporate gamble. It's a story of obsession, ingenuity, and a vision that refuses to fade. Let's dive into the heart of this revolution, where a small Japanese automaker dares to dream bigger than ever before. The tale begins not in 2025, but a century ago, in a world choking on the clatter and smoke of early automobiles. Picture the 1920s. Ford's Model T rumbles down dirt roads, its heavy four-cylinder engine rattling like a tin can full of bolts, overheating at the slightest provocation. General Motors' Chevrolet Superior D-Series limps onto the scene, promising innovation, but collapsing under the weight of unreliable engines. Dodge's cars, though powerful, shake with unbalanced pistons, their constant need for oiling a nagging reminder of an industry crying out for something better. Drivers of the era didn't just want a car, they wanted freedom from the noise, the breakdowns, the endless maintenance. Into this chaos stepped a young German visionary named Felix Wankel, a teenager with a mind that churned as fiercely as the engines he despised. At just 17, he sketched a dream, a machine that didn't thud with pistons, but spun with the grace of a planet in orbit. This was the rotary engine, a concept so radical it promised to make every other car engine obsolete. Smaller, lighter, smoother, it would dance through its cycles with fewer parts, less fuel, and none of the vibrations that plagued the clunking beasts of the day. Wankel wasn't just designing an engine. He was chasing a feeling, a sense of effortless motion that could set drivers free. But dreams, no matter how vivid, don't bend easily to reality. From the late 1920s to the 1930s, Wankel poured his soul into his idea, sketching designs in a modest lab in Heidelberg, surrounded by engineers who shared his hunger, but lacked the resources to match it. The Second World War cast a long shadow, halting his work and draining his funds. By 1951, he was forced to join NSU, a small German firm known for cheap cars and motorcycles. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a lifeline. With NSU's tools and budget, Wankel's vision began to take shape. By 1957, after years of trial and error, the rotary engine roared to life, or rather it hummed. Inside an oval chamber, a triangle-shaped rotor spun with hypnotic precision, creating power with a fluidity that left onlookers speechless. Unlike the up-and-down grind of pistons, this engine performed all four stages of combustion, intake, compression, combustion, exhaust, in one seamless rotation. It was lighter, simpler, and promised efficiency that Ford and GM could only dream of. NSU's press conference unveiling the engine was a sensation, drawing the eyes of the world's biggest automakers. Most wanted to copy it, to tear it apart and build their own. But one company saw something more, a chance to redefine their place in the world. That company was Mazda, a scrappy Japanese automaker based in Hiroshima, led by a man named Tsuneji Matsuda, who burned with ambition. Mazda wasn't a titan like Ford or Toyota. It was a maker of budget cars scraping by on affordability and luck. But Matsuda saw in Wankel's engine a spark that could ignite Mazda's future. He didn't just want to license the technology. He wanted to pour Mazda's soul into it, to craft cars that could stand toe-to-toe with the world's best. In 1967, they unveiled the Cosmosport 110S, a sleek, compact machine powered by a twin-rotor engine that purred with a smoothness that stunned drivers. It was smaller than the muscle cars of the era, yet it danced on the road, earning fans in Japan, Europe, and America. The Cosmo was more than a car, it was a statement. Mazda followed it with the RX-3, then the RX-7 in 1978, a car that became a legend. Light, fast, and affordable, the RX-7 carved out a cult following, its rotary engine delivering a thrill that felt almost otherworldly. By the time the RX-8, a four-door sports car, hit the market in 2003, Mazda's rotary legacy seemed unstoppable. Fans loved the car's sleek designs, their nimble handling, their ability to punch above their weight. For a moment, it felt like Mazda had cracked the code to automotive immortality. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. The rotary engine, for all its brilliance, had flaws that no amount of passion could hide. Its apex seals, the tiny metal strips that kept the rotor's chamber airtight, wore out too quickly under the constant spin, sapping power and performance over time. The engine burned more fuel than its piston-driven rivals, and its oil system, which injected lubricant directly into the combustion chamber, produced excessive carbon emissions, a sin in an era increasingly aware of climate change. By the 1990s and early 2000s, governments tightened emission standards, and Mazda's rotary cars struggled to comply. The RX-8, despite its beauty, was a gas guzzler with a short lifespan, its engine faltering under the weight of its own design. By 2012, Mazda pulled the plug, discontinuing rotary-powered cars entirely. The dream that had begun with Wankel's sketches seemed to have died, a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing practicality. Fans mourned, but the world moved on, embracing the silent efficiency of electric vehicles. Tesla's rise seemed to seal the rotary's fate, an outdated relic in a world of sleek, battery-powered machines. So why, after all this, is Mazda doubling down? What makes them believe they can resurrect this flawed masterpiece and challenge the EV giants? The answer lies in Hiroshima, where Mazda's engineers never truly let go. In 2013, as the last RX-8 rolled off the line, a team of dreamers began a quiet mission. They weren't content to let the rotary engine fade into history. They wanted to redeem it. Their post-mortem analysis of Wankel's design wasn't just about fixing mistakes. It was about reimagining what a rotary engine could be. Picture their labs, whiteboards covered in equations, prototypes humming under fluorescent lights, engineers working late into the night, driven by a shared obsession. They knew the stakes. Tesla's Model S Plaid, with its blistering 0 to 60 sprint in under 2 seconds, loomed large. Ford's Mustang Mach-E and Chevrolet's Bolt EV were carving out their own slices of the market. Lucid Motors' Air sedan promised ranges over 500 miles. Mazda, a smaller player with fewer resources, was stepping into a ring with heavyweights. But they had something no one else did, a legacy of defiance, a willingness to bet on the impossible. Their new rotary engine, they claimed, would not just compete, it would change everything. In the heart of Hiroshima, where the scars of history whisper resilience, Mazda's engineers toiled in secrecy, their ambition as fierce as the city's spirit. The rotary engine, once a symbol of untamed possibility, had become a ghost haunting their workshops. A brilliant idea that had faltered under the weight of its own flaws. But Mazda wasn't ready to let it rest in peace. The year was 2013, and the world was enthralled by the silent surge of electric vehicles. Tesla's Model S was redefining performance, its instant torque leaving traditional engines in the dust. Ford's Mustang Mach-E and Chevrolet's Bolt EV were carving out their own legacies, while Lucid Motors promised ranges that seemed to defy physics. Yet in Mazda's labs, a different kind of revolution was brewing. The rotary engine, with all its quirks and failures, was being reborn, not as a relic, but as a weapon. This wasn't just about fixing an old design. It was about crafting a machine that could rival the giants, blending the soul of a sports car with the conscience of a greener world. The question wasn't just how Mazda could make this work. It was whether they could make the world believe in it again. The rotary's original sin lay in its design, a paradox of elegance and fragility. Unlike the piston engines that powered most cars, the rotary was a marvel of simplicity. Picture a triangular rotor spinning inside an oval chamber, its motion as fluid as a dancer's twirl. In a single rotation, it performed all four stages of combustion: intake, compression, combustion, exhaust, without the clunky valves, camshafts, or timing systems that bogged down traditional engines. With just three moving parts, it promised power with less weight, efficiency with less fuel. But beauty often hides flaws. The rotor's sharp corners, called apexes, relied on tiny metal strips, apex seals, to keep the chamber airtight. These seals, constantly grinding against the chamber's walls, wore out far too quickly, leaking compression and sapping power. The engine's oil system was another Achilles heel, injecting lubricant directly into the combustion chamber to keep the seals slick. This burned alongside the fuel, spewing carbon emissions and clogging the engine over time. The chamber's long, thin shape made fuel burn inefficiently, wasting energy and belching unburnt hydrocarbons into the exhaust. And then there was the heat. Oh, the heat. The compact engine block left little room for cooling channels, so the spinning rotor cooked itself at high speeds, warping parts and dooming the seals to an early grave. By 2012, these flaws had buried the Rotary, leaving Mazda to face a world that had moved on. But Mazda's engineers saw something others didn't: potential. They weren't trying to resurrect the past, they were rewriting it. In their Hiroshima labs, they dissected every failure of the Wankel design, determined to turn weaknesses into strengths. Their first target was the apex seals, the Rotary's most notorious flaw. Imagine the challenge: crafting a seal that could withstand the relentless spin of the rotor without wearing out, all while maintaining the engine's iconic shape. Mazda's solution was a leap into the future: ceramic coatings infused with carbon alloys, materials so resilient they could shrug off heat and friction like never before. These weren't just seals, they were shields, designed to outlast anything Mazda had built before. Next, they tackled the combustion chamber itself. By reshaping the rotor's faces with wider ports and intricate surface patterns, they ensured a smoother flow of air and fuel, igniting with a precision that older models could only dream of. The result was a cleaner, more efficient burn, reducing waste and boosting power. But Mazda didn't stop there. They knew the Rotary's oil system was a ticking time bomb, so they turned to technology that felt almost sci-fi: AI-driven software that monitored the engine in real time, delivering just the right amount of oil at the perfect moment. No excess, no waste, just enough to keep the seals intact. They even devised a system to recycle oil vapor, feeding it back into the engine to burn more cleanly, slashing emissions in a way Felix Wankel could never have imagined. Heat, the Rotary's old nemesis, was next on the list. Mazda's engineers reimagined the cooling system, crafting channels that circulated a hybrid organic acid coolant laced with silicated additives and nanoceramic particles. This wasn't just coolant, it was a garden, forming a heat-shielding layer over time, protecting the engine's aluminum heart for up to 5 years or 150,000 miles. The rotors and housings were forged from heat-resistant alloys, built to endure the blistering temperatures of high-speed runs without warping or cracking. Every detail screamed durability, a promise that this Rotary wouldn't just perform, it would last. But Mazda's boldest move was yet to come, a twist that turned the Rotary's purpose on its head. Instead of powering the wheels directly, as it had in the RX-7 and RX-8, the new Rotary would serve as a range extender for a hybrid system. Picture this: a compact rotary engine, humming at a steady pace, charging an electric motor through the car's battery. It wasn't about raw power anymore. It was about efficiency, control, and balance. By running at a constant speed, the engine avoided the stress that had plagued its predecessors, sipping fuel and cutting emissions, while feeding the electric motor the energy it needed to drive. This wasn't a rejection of electric vehicles. It was a partnership, a hybrid that married the Rotary's soulful spin with the instant torque of an electric motor. Mazda had tested this idea before, in the Mazda 2 EV Rotary range extender concept. But this was different. This was bigger, bolder, a vision for the future of the RX line and beyond. They weren't just building an engine, they were building a philosophy. Reports from 2025 hint at two prototypes in testing. One, the hybrid range extender, designed for efficiency and practicality. The other, a twin-rotor beast delivering over 300 horsepower directly to the wheels, a nod to the RX-7's legacy of thrill. Both are being refined in Japan and Europe, with whispers of a reveal in the coming years. The RX-9, Mazda's flagship, looms on the horizon, a compact, agile sports car that promises to blend the Rotary's magic with the demands of a world obsessed with sustainability. But the road ahead is treacherous. Tesla's Model S Plaid, now nearly 5 years old, still sets the benchmark with its mind-bending acceleration. Ford's Mustang Mach-E and Chevrolet's Bolt EV dominate the mainstream, while Lucid's Air sedan and Rivian's R1T pickup push the boundaries of range and luxury. These aren't just competitors, they're titans, backed by resources and market share Mazda can only dream of. The Rotary, for all its upgrades, faces a fundamental truth. It can't match the instant torque of a pure electric motor. Hybrids, by their nature, compromise, balancing the strengths of combustion and electricity. Could Mazda's gamble, betting on a hybrid sports car in an EV-dominated world, really shake the industry to its core? The answer lies not just in technology, but in emotion. Mazda isn't trying to out-Tesla. They're not chasing raw speed or jaw-dropping range. They're chasing a feeling, the thrill of a car that feels alive, that sings with the hum of a rotary engine, that corners like a dream. The RX-9 isn't just a vehicle. It's a rebellion against a world of cookie-cutter EVs, a reminder that driving can be more than getting from point A to point B. It's about the pulse of the engine, the connection between driver and machine, the joy of a perfectly executed turn. Mazda's engineers know the odds. They know the Rotary's history is a graveyard of ambition, but they also know that sometimes the boldest ideas come from the smallest players. As the RX-9's silhouette gleams under the Hiroshima sun, it carries a question. Can a company that thrives on defiance rewrite the future? Or will this be another chapter in the Rotary's long, bittersweet saga? The streets of Hiroshima pulse with quiet determination, a city that knows what it means to rise from ashes. In Mazda's workshops, the air hums with the same resolve as engineers polish the final pieces of a dream that refuses to die. The RX-9, Mazda's great hope, waits in the shadows, a sleek, compact predator ready to pounce on a world ruled by electric giants. Its rotary engine, reborn with cutting-edge ingenuity, promises a hybrid that blends the thrill of the past with the demands of a sustainable future. But the road ahead is no open highway. Tesla's Model S Plaid, a beast that rockets from 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, casts a long shadow. Ford's Mustang Mach-E, Chevrolet's Bolt EV, Lucid's Air sedan with its 500-mile range, and Rivian's R1T pickup, all are titans in a market Mazda can't hope to match in resources or scale. The Rotary's history is a tale of brilliance undone by flaws, and even with its dazzling upgrades, it faces a truth as unyielding as steel. A hybrid, no matter how clever, can't deliver the instant torque of a pure electric motor. Mazda's CEO claims this engine will destroy the EV industry, but in a world where speed, range, and efficiency reign supreme, can a small Japanese automaker really topple the giants? Or is this a defiant last stand, a love letter to a bygone era? The challenge is daunting, but Mazda's strength has never been in brute force, it's in soul. The RX-9 isn't just a car, it's a rebellion against a future where every vehicle feels the same, where the hum of an electric motor drowns out the heartbeat of a machine. Picture a winding mountain road at dusk, the RX-9 carving through corners with a precision that feels almost alive. Its rotary engine, now a range extender, hums steadily, charging the electric motor with a rhythm that's both futuristic and nostalgic. This isn't about outrunning Tesla's Plaid or matching Lucid's range. It's about offering something no EV can, a driving experience that stirs the heart. Mazda knows the RX-9 can't compete on raw numbers alone. Tesla's Plaid hits 60 miles per hour faster than you can blink. Lucid's Air glides for 500 miles on a single charge. Rivian's R1T combines rugged utility with blistering speed. Even Toyota's BZ4X, a relative newcomer from 2022, boasts features that make the RX-9's Rotary seem like a gamble. But Mazda isn't playing the same game. They're betting on agility, on compact design, on the joy of a car that feels like an extension of the driver's world. To pull this off, Mazda must walk a tightrope. The RX-9 needs to be more than a sports car. It must be a statement. Its hybrid system, with the rotary engine charging a battery that powers an electric motor, offers a unique balance. The efficiency of a hybrid with the soul of a rotary. The engine's upgrades, ceramic-coated apex seals, AI-driven oil control, advanced cooling, promise durability and lower emissions, addressing the sins of the RX-7 and RX-8. But in a market obsessed with range and charging speed, Mazda must go further. Imagine the RX-9 as a compact marvel designed for urban jungles where Tesla's sprawling sedans struggle to park. Its smaller battery, lighter than those in pure EVs, could charge faster, easing the range anxiety that haunts every electric driver. Mazda's engineers are banking on this, crafting a car that doesn't need to go 500 miles, but feels unstoppable in the 200 it does cover. The Rotary's steady hum ensures the battery stays charged, letting the electric motor deliver instant power for sharp acceleration and nimble handling. It's a car for city dwellers who crave performance, for enthusiasts who want a machine that sings, for anyone who believes driving should be an experience, not a chore. But dreams alone don't win markets. Mazda faces a brutal reality: scale. Tesla's gigafactories churn out vehicles at a pace Mazda can't match. Ford and Chevrolet have deep pockets and loyal customers. Lucid and Rivian, though newer, have carved out niches with luxury and utility. Mazda, a smaller player, must be strategic. One path is affordability, offering the RX-9 at a price that undercuts Tesla's premium models or Chevrolet's budget-friendly Bolt EV. This could mean selling at a loss initially, a risky move, but one that could capture the hearts of price-sensitive buyers who love EVs but balk at their cost. Picture a young couple in a crowded city, dreaming of a car that's fun to drive, easy to park, and doesn't break the bank. The RX-9 could be their answer, a hybrid that delivers sports car thrills without the premium price tag. Mazda's history of building compact, affordable cars gives them an edge here. The RX-7 was a legend not because it was the fastest, but because it was accessible, a dream within reach. The RX-9 could follow that path, appealing to a new generation that values experience over excess. Another weapon in Mazda's arsenal is urban appeal. Cities in 2025 are choked with traffic, their parking spots shrinking by the day. Tesla's Model S, for all its brilliance, is a behemoth in tight spaces. Ford's Mustang Mach-E, while sleek, isn't built for the narrow streets of Tokyo or London. The RX-9, with its compact footprint, could slip through urban chaos like a blade, offering performance without the bulk. Mazda's engineers are reportedly obsessive about weight, shaving grams wherever possible to keep the RX-9 agile. This isn't just about practicality, it's about identity. Mazda has always been the underdog, the company that thrives by doing things differently. While Tesla chases speed and Lucid chases range, Mazda could carve out a niche for drivers who want a car that feels alive, that fits their life, that doesn't demand a sprawling garage or a six-figure paycheck. The Rotary's unique hum, its smooth power delivery, could become a signature, a reminder that cars can have personality in an era of sterile efficiency. Yet the ghosts of the past linger. The Rotary's failures, its thirst for fuel, its fragile seals, its overheating woes, haunt Mazda's ambitions. Even with their dazzling upgrades, the RX-9 will face skepticism. Enthusiasts may cheer, but the broader market worships range and reliability. Range anxiety, the fear of a dead battery far from a charger, is a specter that looms over every EV buyer. Mazda's hybrid approach might ease this, with the Rotary ensuring the battery never runs dry, but it's still a compromise. A pure EV delivers power instantly, with no combustion engine to slow it down. The RX-9's Rotary, for all its brilliance, adds complexity, a layer of machinery that could intimidate buyers used to the simplicity of electric motors. And then there's production. Mazda's factories can't match Tesla's scale or Ford's infrastructure. If the RX-9 catches fire, figuratively, not literally, Mazda must be ready to meet demand without sacrificing quality. A single misstep, a recall, a delay, could doom their comeback before it begins. So will Mazda's rotary engine destroy the EV industry, as their CEO boldly claims? The answer isn't in horsepower or range, it's in vision. Mazda isn't trying to kill the electric vehicle, they're trying to redefine it. The RX-9 is a bridge between worlds, a car that honors the past while embracing the future. It's for the driver who wants more than a silent commute, who craves the thrill of a machine that feels alive. It's a gamble, yes, but Mazda has never been afraid to bet on the impossible. Picture the RX-9 tearing through a city at night, its rotary humming, its electric motor surging, a symbol of defiance in a world of conformity. If Mazda can deliver on this promise, if they can make the RX-9 affordable, agile, and unforgettable, they might not destroy the EV industry, but they could carve out a space where passion triumphs over pragmatism. The road ahead is uncertain, the competition fierce, but Mazda's heart beats strong. Will the Rotary rise again, or will it fade into legend? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Mazda's not going down without a fight.